Welcome to the 6:30 p.m. news. We are live from Yaoundé, Cameroon's political capital. And coming up tonight, mixed reactions have followed President Paul Biya's February 10th address to Cameroonian youth, as some young people have expressed disappointment over what they describe as repeated promises amid persistent socio-economic challenges. These youth say they want actions and not promises. And despite heavy rainfall, thousands of youth across Cameroon turned out in their numbers to celebrate National Day, displaying patriotism and national pride at its peak. In Bengui, Momo Division in the northwest region of Cameroon, the 11th of February was celebrated in pomp and fanfare for the first time in 9 years, following the escalation of the ongoing Anglophone crisis. These are the stories that will lead us tonight on the 6:30 p.m. newscast. We develop these and more in a moment. Thank you for joining us on tonight's latest edition of the news on BE News 1. I am Fabrice Kezinga for presentation. And we open the news file tonight with commemorative activities marking the 11th of February celebration, which took place yesterday across the national territory. In the Yaoundé 3 municipality, pupils and students gathered to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Cameroon's National Day under the watchful eyes of the divisional officer of Yaoundé 3, who was accompanied by the mayor of the Yaoundé 3 municipality. We have details of that report with Micheline Bilowa.
Schools in the Yaoundé 3 subdivision have taken part in the Grand March Pass organized to mark the 60th edition of Youth Day, celebrated this February 11. Pupils and students from various public and private institutions proudly paraded before a distinguished audience gathered for the occasion in Waikele. Among the officials present were the mayor of Yaoundé 3, Lucas Owuna, alongside local administrative authorities and several invited guests. Beyond the colorful parade and displays of discipline, the ceremony carried strong symbolic value. It was marked by the official installation of the president of the Subdivisional Youth Municipal Council of Yaoundé 3, a move aimed at strengthening young participation in local governance and community development. The event also provided an opportunity to reward excellence. Prizes were awarded to some of the best performing schools in the subdivision, including St. Joseph of Mvolier, Etoile Bilingual School, Les Calix, and others. As the 60th Youth Day celebration unfolded, the message was clear: young people remain at the heart of nation building, called upon to embody responsibility, excellence, and civic engagement.
In Boya, chief town of the Southwest region, the 60th edition of the National Youth Day unfolded peacefully and with disciplined march past, with strong youth participation showing growing signs of stability in the Southwest regional capital. Despite the heavy downpour, the youths turned out massively in a show of patriotism. Highlights of the march past ceremony in Boya is compiled in the following report. Boya, chief town of the Southwest region, came alive as youths joined their counterparts across the country to commemorate the 60th anniversary of Cameroon's National Youth Day in an atmosphere marked by peace and united hope. The celebration followed week-long activities, including sporting competition and civic engagements, as well as cultural events, which helped to mobilize young people and revive social life in the municipality. These activities injected energy into Boya, a town that has experienced periods of tension in recent years. The highlight of the event was an impressive march past at the ceremonial ground at Bongo Square, which brought together hundreds of youth alongside municipal, traditional and administrative authorities. The massive turnout and orderly display by participants under the rain stood as a strong indication of the gradual return of normalcy to the regional capital. Participants expressed satisfaction with the level of organization and youth participation, noting that this year's celebrations were more than successful in previous years. As Cameroon marks 60 years of celebrating its youth, the Boya experience sends a message of resilience, hope, and a firm commitment to sustaining peace and normal life in the Southwest regional capital. Let's now have the reaction of the governor of the Southwest region, Bernard Okala-Bilai, who described the heavy rains yesterday as showers of blessings from God. He also used the occasion while talking to the press to thank the youth across the Southwest region for a buoyant March pass.
We can say it, Diamond Jubilee and heavy rain, showers of blessings. But what is important to notice is that the youth, the young men of the Southwest region in particular, and those of Boya, they have demonstrated their resilience, their determination, their commitment that under the sun or under the rains, they are mobilized. They remain mobilized. And we want to congratulate them. Yesterday, the head of state, in his message to the youth, congratulated the youth of Cameroon, congratulated the youth for their commitment. But here, I think that here in Boya, in the Southwest, they deserve twice to be thanked. Because today, we have come back definitely to what we were used 10 years ago. More than 3 hours of march past. It means that the mobilization was huge mobilization. And despite the rains, the march past went on. So I want to express my full gratitude and satisfaction to the youth of Boya, the youth of the Southwest.
And we are back here in the Central Region, where youth in Mengang here in the Central Region also took part in commemorative activities marking the 60th anniversary of Cameroon's National Youth Day under the theme Youth at the Heart of Great Hopes for a United, Stable and Peaceful Cameroon. Jackie Nyebele completes that story.
Under the theme Youth, Education in Values, Civic Engagement and Maturity for Responsible Participation in the Work of Nation Building, the 60th edition of Youth Day was proudly celebrated in Mengang with a traditional march past of academic institutions, social organizations and religious groups. In a festive and patriotic atmosphere, young people demonstrated discipline, creativity and commitment to Republican ideals, highlighting the importance of civic values in building a strong and united nation. Beyond the official performances, the celebration also served as an economic showcase. Around the event site, numerous traders set up stalls and stands, offering drinks, local dishes, gadgets and various goods, each hoping to benefit from the large turnout.
We sell things like Valentine's Day, since we know that it will be on Saturday, which will be on the 14th. So we decide selling them on the 14th, on the 11th of February, so that children will buy and go and share their love to other people out there. But since the students are not out here much because of the disobedience that they are disobedient in school, it makes in such a way that they are not even out now to even buy all the things. It means our commercial side, we are actually down. There's no way for us even selling because the population is less.
For some, however, the day did not fully meet their expectation in terms of sales despite the impressive crowd. Others, on the contrary, expressed satisfaction with their earnings, proving that Youth Day remains not only a moment of civic expression but also a valuable economic opportunity for local business operators.
When it comes to the commercial side, things are not really moving because when the youths are not out to patronize the day of today, even the 11th of February will not be interesting because most of the students that are not out to march, which means even things that we are selling in the market that will not sell well because we are selling because of the population that is out. So now that they are not there, so we don't have customers, things are not moving. It means the 11th February of this year, 2026, was not interesting and it was not even helpful for us, the people that were selling on the 11th of February.
In Mengang, the 60th edition successfully combined civic commitment, patriotic fervor and commercial dynamism, reflecting a youth that is both aware of its responsibilities and actively engaged in the social and economic life of its community.
Let's now take you to the far north region of Cameroon in Mariwa, where youths in that part of the country also took part in activities marking the 60th anniversary of Cameroon's National Youth Day. The youths turned out at the ceremonial ground in a show of pride and belonging to the nation Cameroon. We have that report with Micheline Bilowa.
The 60th edition of the National Youth Day was celebrated with pomp and solemnity at the Mara Ceremonial Square, where young people came out in large numbers to honor the event. The highlight of the ceremony was the Grand Parade, which brought together primary, secondary and higher education institutions, alongside youth movements, associations, clubs and political groups. Marching to patriotic songs and coordinated rhythms, participants showcased discipline, unity and civic commitment. In the competitive parade rankings, École Fatia took first place among primary schools. In the secondary school category, the bilingual college, Jacques de Benon, emerged top. For training institutions, the bilingual interdisciplinary health sciences training complex, Kobifix, secured first prize, while at the higher education level, the Consenda University Institute ranked first. The parade took place in the presence of the governor of the Far North region, Mijiyawa Bakari, who presided over the ceremony. Another major moment was the public broadcast of the head of state's message to the youth, reaffirming their central role in building a united, stable and prosperous Cameroon. Speaking to the press, the governor further explained the significance of the presidential message, calling on young people to remain responsible, engaged and forward-looking. The ceremony ended with the award of prizes and certificates to the best performing institutions and groups, closing the 60th Youth Day celebrations in Marwa on a note of recognition and encouragement.
We stay in the far north region in Kuseri. The 11th of February ceremony attracted crowds. That is a large crowd to the ceremonial square as youths gathered under the theme Youth at the Heart of Great Hopes for a united, stable and prosperous Cameroon. The event was presided over by the Senior Divisional Officer for Logon and Shari, Fombele Matthias Tayem, in the presence of political, religious and traditional authorities. Pupils, students, youth association and faith-based groups took part in a colorful march past carrying messages of peace, unity and patriotism. The celebration reflected the strong commitment of youth in Kuseri to promoting national unity and stability. Now we're heading to Balinyonga, where Balinyonga in Mezam Division has once again affirmed its return to peace and stability as youths joined their peers nationwide to celebrate the 60th National Day in calm, festive and hopeful atmosphere. We have highlights of the 11th of February celebration in Balinyonga compiled in the following report.
Balinyonga in Mezam Division recently wore a festive look as youths joined their counterparts across the country to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Cameroon's National Youth Day in an atmosphere marked by peace and renewed hope. The celebration followed week-long youth-centered activities, including sports work and community engagements, which helped to mobilize young people and revive social life in the area. These activities breathed new life into the community, once considered fragile due to past tensions. The highlight of the event was an impressive march past at Ntamfuan Square, which brought together youths alongside municipal and administrative authorities. The turnout and discipline displayed by participants stood as a clear sign of the gradual return to normalcy in Balinyonga. The mayor of Balinyonga expressed satisfaction with the level of organization.
There is marked improvement as compared to the previous celebrations, and I want to think that the trend is going to go ahead in nice manner. Truly, from what all of us have witnessed during this week, the week in Bali was a hectic one. Made up of activities left and right, efforts were carried out by the youth of Bali. I am so pleased that the youth of Bali have reassured the head of state today throughout this week of their commitment, their committedness towards the well-being of this nation and the development at large.
The divisional officer of Bali, who has spent 6 months serving in the Nyonga land, has reassured the population that peace and serenity have returned.
For my 6 months here, Bali has changed. The fear of the unknown is vanishing day after day.
On his part, newly elected coordinator of the Northwest Youth Parliamentary Network noted that it is a new era for the youths of Balinyonga, his homeland.
The charity begins at home. I am a current sitting youth parliamentarian for Bali. We are already putting strategies on how to come out with parliamentary units where we will mobilize all the entire youth of Bali to belong in that unit. First of all, need to do sensitization and capacity building. First of all,
as Cameroon marks 60 years of celebrating its youth under the theme "Youth at the Heart of Great Hopes for a United, Stable and Prosperous Cameroon," the Balinyonga experience stands as a strong message of resilience, reconciliation, and a steady return of normal life in a community determined to move forward. Away from Balinyonga, the 60th anniversary of Cameroon's National Youth Day was also celebrated in Bangui, chief town of the north Momo division in the northwest region of Cameroon. The occasion witnessed a massive turnout of young people during this year's 11th February Youth Day celebration. It was the first of such event in 9 years following the escalation of the armed conflict. The march past recorded increased participation from schools with many uniforms, unlike previous years marked by insecurity. Observers say the strong mobilization and improved visibility of schools reflect a gradual return of stability in the chief town of Momo division. From Momo division, youth in the west region of Cameroon, precisely in Bafoussam, also took part in commemorative activities marking the 60th anniversary of the Youth Day at the ceremonial ground in Bafoussam, which took place at Toket Open Sports Stadium under the watchful eyes of the governor of the West region, Awa Fonka Augustine. The event was presided by the chief executive officer himself in the presence of local authorities, including political, religious, and traditional authorities. The 60th anniversary of Cameroon's Youth Day was celebrated under the theme "Youth at the Heart of Great Hopes for a United, Stable, and Prosperous Cameroon." Now, as we told you in one of our top stories, disappointment and skepticism have been demonstrated following the reactions from Cameroonian youths after President Paul Biya's February 10th address, with critics saying the message recycled familiar promises while daily hardship persists. These individuals were speaking on B News yesterday on the program Inside the Issue. Let's have their reactions compiled in the following report. Some Cameroonian youths have reacted with disappointment to President Paul Biya's February 10 address, accusing the head of state of repeating promises without tangible results.
Every time it's always promises, and the promises not come to fulfillment. So we are used to the promises, and we knew that will come up. So it's normal. Speaking on B News 1, several young people said issues such as unemployment, rising living costs, and limited opportunities have persisted over the years despite similar assurances in past Youth Day messages.
There was nothing new or concrete, apart from, you would say, the 50 billion that they talk about the youth empowerment program or plan. But is it a first initiative? Is it a first project that has been put in place? And the answer is no. There have been different initiatives that have been put in place by his own government, since from the time that he took over power. And what has he yielded? Nothing.
They argue that while the speeches are encouraging, concrete actions on the ground remain insufficient. According to them, government programs announced to empower youths are either inaccessible or ineffective, leaving many young Cameroonians struggling to make ends meet. Some youths also express frustration over what they describe as a widening gap between political promises and everyday realities. However, others believe the speech still offers hope, calling on authorities to move beyond rhetoric and prioritize implementation.
One will say he has always been budgeting for the employment and creating jobs for you, but this time around, he specified by saying that he has injected 50 billion francs into the finance law, which means that he has been creating ministries to take care of the youth. But this time around, he himself decided to supervise.
As Cameroon marks 60 years of National Youth Day, the reaction highlights growing expectations among youth for measurable action, accountability and policies that directly improved their living conditions. Away from the 60th anniversary of Cameroon's National Youth Day, Cameroon is strengthening its response to the myopic outbreak as health authorities refine strategies to contain the disease. Gradual spreads to new regions. During the second coordination meeting of the incident management system, stakeholders reviewed ongoing interventions, assessed the evolving epidemiological situation of Cameroon, as we share in the following report compiled by Jackie Nyebele.
The fight against the mpox outbreak in Cameroon has entered a new phase, marked by strengthened coordination and strategic adjustments. Stakeholders involved in the response recently convened at the Public Health Emergency Operations Coordination Center in Yaoundé and via video conference for the second coordination meeting of the Incident Management System. The meeting aimed to assess ongoing interventions, review the epidemiological situation, and realign operational priorities as the disease gradually spreads to new regions. A key focus of this discussions was the implementation status of recommendations from the first coordination meeting. Overall progress was deemed satisfactory. The integrated action plan, now finalized and disseminated across all response pillars, serves as a primary strategic framework guiding the national response. Several important initiatives are currently on the way. This includes the validation of a rapid risk assessment tool designed for frontline health workers, as well as the reinforcement of risk communication efforts in collaboration with UNICEF and other technical and financial partners. Health posts at points of entry have now been fully integrated into the national response mechanism, reflecting a clear determination to strengthen surveillance and control measures at the country's borders. In terms of resource mobilization, the interest expressed by certain international organizations in supporting the production of communication materials represents a promising step forward. However, challenges persist. These include shortages of essential supplies for case management in several health districts, reluctance by some patients to cooperate during contact tracing, and the urgent need to intensify awareness campaigns in school following detection of cases among students. The national response remains dynamic and adaptive, driven by vigilance, coordination, and a collective commitment to containing the outbreak and protecting public health.
You're watching the 6:30 p.m. news live from Yaoundé, Cameroon's political capital. Let's now talk sports in this newscast, and it's grassroots football. In Tico, the first edition of the Tico Grassroots Football Tournament will kick off on the 26th of February 2026. According to organizers, the tournament, to run for 5 months, will include the under-12, under-13, under-10 and under-15 categories, with games played on home and away basis. The brainchild of the tournament, Murum Divine, says the initiative seeks to better develop talents in Tico subdivision and its environ. They are inspired by the lack of grassroots football development in Cameroon today, which has caused a decline in Cameroonian football. And still talking about grassroots football, preparations are ongoing in view of the second edition of the Project One Shoes Football Tournament program for April 2026. Registration of teams are currently ongoing and will wrap up on Sunday, the 8th of March 2026. The tournament to be played at the Centenary, Middle Farms and Cité Sonara stadiums in Limbe will involve 12 teams of 3 categories in the under-12, 14 and 16. Organizers aim to offer a platform for talent development and scouting of young ambitious footballers across Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the 6:30 p.m. news from B News 1. I am Fabrice Kedinga. Join Severin Alega at 7:30 p.m. for the news in the French language. Until we meet again, God bless Cameroon. Good night.